when you got to the league, what was the hardest thing to adjust to?
That battle with yourself. When you know you should be in the gym working on your game, but instead of doing that, you're doing something else that's taking you away from your goals and your journey. Starting with yourself first, man, is like the biggest fight because sometimes people get complacent.
Kobe scored 81. Where were you when you saw that he had 81?
I want to say we just finished the game. As soon as we were done, it was like that popped up on the screen. I was like, ain't no way that man just had 81. But he was on a tear that year. To be able to see a Wilt Chamberlain-like game in real time, crazy.
What are you guys saying as defenders, though? Like, nah, you got him. What would have stopped him at that time?
You got to think, too, the way the triangle is set up, he's catching it in certain spots that it's hard to double. The way that they can position him where he can just do one or two dribbles, like, or just a jab jumper. When you see that he's hitting like that, man, good luck.
LeBron is up for the All-Star game. They saying, nah, they don't want him in there. This is his 23rd year. Is it possible he can actually just love the game that much? They think he's chasing Jordan's legacy or Kobe's legacy.
I don't think that a guy who doesn't care averages the same that he did in some of his prime years.
Scorers, welcome back to the channel. Listen, man, I got my guy, man, two-time NBA champion, and this is his second time on the show. I appreciate him. Please welcome my guy, Josh Powell. What's up with you, my man?
What's going on, good brother? Glad
you.
to be on it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yes, sir.
So I'm geeked.
Man, this show gonna be. This should be a better show than last. Well, it should be a better interview than last time because, you know, me and you ain't really know each other. Now we kind of know each other. I can laugh, joke, talk some shit, you know, because when I first meet guys, I don't know if they overly serious. I don't really know. But now that I know you, man, you know, it should be a fun one.
All good.
My man. So look, you was on last time. I posted your clips. And then I saw dudes in the comments arguing with you. Like, they pulled up your stats. Like, yo, what's up with people, bro? Like, how they feel like it's easy making the NBA no matter what role you play, and let alone be an NBA champion. Like, what is wrong with these guys?
I think, man, we are in a day and age where people don't respect elite anymore. Because we have downplayed people's professions. And it's not just being a professional athlete. It's almost like any clip that goes up, somebody could be a neurosurgeon and you'll have somebody in the comments like, man, he's terrible. Like, I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that I be talking about, bro. Like, if it was so easy, man, everybody could do it, man. And it's like things that go into being a professional or a master of your craft. Like, even when it comes to podcasting, bro, like, everybody can't do what you do, you know what I'm saying? Or be able to engage or get the following. Like, and I wish people could just respect the work, the ethic, the dedication, like all the things that go into, you know, being a professional athlete, you know what I mean, in regards to that clip. But it's always funny, man, and it's like people think it's sweet because, oh, well, he only averaged this or whatever, and it's like, bro, like, everybody got to play a role, everybody got a position, you know what I mean? Like, everybody can't be the person that takes 20 shots or gets the glory. Like, that's not championship basketball. That's not even being a professional athlete. And there's a ton of stories of people that have found a niche and they stuck with it and they've ended up being in the league 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
No, that's facts. That's fact. Let me ask you, when you got to the league, right, what was the hardest thing to adjust to? Like, or it could be on, off the court, don't matter. Because I know fans think it's like, you know, it's fun. Like, when I was reading some of the comments, some of the replies that they were saying, I'm just looking at this stuff like, bro, you understand, like, all these dudes can ball. Like, you get them in the right team, right situation, you'd be a different Josh Powell, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I watched this man play at NC State. He was a different animal. You give anybody, any given NBA player, any given team, the opportunity, they're gonna shine. You got to adjust to certain things, and it can be a challenge on and off the court. So what was your adjustment challenge, if you had any at all?
I think the biggest adjustment for me, and it's not just for me, but I think in general, is that battle with yourself.
Mm.
Because, it's one thing, and depending on if you're the guy that gets a ton of minutes, are you a starter, are you heavy rotation guy, um, your family, your friends, your girl, whoever, like everybody's chirping, you should be playing more, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. When you know you should be in the gym working on your game, but instead of doing that, you're doing something else that's taking you away from your goals or your journey. So I always think that starting with yourself first, man, is like the biggest fight, because sometimes people get complacent, bro. Like, you made it to the league, and sometimes people stop working.
Right.
They don't have the same drive. They don't have the same love or the same passion. Sometimes the outside noise could get in the way of the work ethic. So you could be heavy on yourself because things aren't going the way that you want, and you start pouting and having a pity party, and that could get in the way and affect things that are going on as far as current and as far as your future. Because anything could happen, bro. Somebody could get injured. There could be a
Mm-hmm.
trade. Next thing you know, you're up. But because you've been sulking and you ain't been preparing, bro, you might not take advantage of that opportunity the way that you would have if you would have just stayed locked in. So
Right.
I think you see that with a ton of guys, man. Like, you gotta have the consistency. You got to have the same routine. You got to put in the same work. Like, you got to put in extra work if you feeling like, man, my shot's not falling, or I'm a step slower. Whatever it is that you got to do, man, to make sure that you are the best version of yourself when game time comes, by all means do that. And that's a hard adjustment, man. Because if you go from high school being a man, even if you were the man in college, to now I got to be a role player, I don't think people look at it like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then lastly, when you have other players talking about other players in that manner, it also gets tricky too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that players can't have their perspectives, but come on, man. Out of anybody, you know how hard it is to get to that point. Don't trash somebody else because their
Oh,
talent.
so you saying the other players like in the NBA, like on your team, be talking crazy about each other?
Man, like, well, when you look at media, when you look at podcasts, and when you look at all the different platforms, guys are going to talk about each other
Oh, yeah,
being in
okay.
the space. But I'm talking about from the standpoint of like the voices, right? When you turn on and you see guys critiquing each other, it's one thing to critique somebody. It's another thing to disrespect them or like come down on them because, oh, this guy's trash. You need to trade him or do this or do that. Like, that's a whole different beast that you're dealing with. And for me, I don't care who it is or what it is. I always respect anybody that's able to get to that point because it is tough. Now, I do understand some people maybe had some different circumstances, but at the end of the day, you're still a pro.
Right.
Somebody thought well enough to give you that opportunity. So I always respect that.
Facts, facts. What's something, just sticking on the fans or whatnot, what's something
Mm.
you wish the fans knew about the NBA that they don't know? Like, it could be anything. It can be just the hours, the flights, you know what I mean?
That's a great question. Because I feel like it ain't just one thing. Like, when you look at being on the East Coast, and you got a West Coast swing, and you got 4 games in 5 nights, and then it's like you might leave on a Friday, even though the time zone is different, but you might have to play the Lakers, the Clippers, Golden State on the Saturday, and then it might be a back to back, or you might get a day in between. But it's like your body adjusting to that alone is something that's tough, man. Like, to you know be on a 10 o'clock at night when the game time is starting on the East Coast, but it's 7:30 West Coast. That's an adjustment too. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
the things that we just have to do, like, it's not a complaint, it's not none of that. But if you have that schedule and you're 40 games in, ain't no telling what your body could be going through. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So it's a ton of things that happen. But when people see you perform, it's like, you making millions of dollars, stop complaining, doing this and doing that. And I don't necessarily think it's a complaint. I think we have lost sight of human beings being human.
Right.
Just because somebody might be able to give you 30 doesn't mean that they're not going through dysfunction or something at the crib. Like, it's those things, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because, like, you could be in an arena and a fan can tell you about yourself, but if you were to go to Starbucks and disrespect the person making your coffee, man, they don't have to serve you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real. That's
This
real.
is one of those things that everybody can say, stop acting like this or stop being soft or whatever. But in other environments and other situations and conditions, like people don't necessarily have to deal with that because you can literally remove people from the premises for saying things or being in a certain type of way that's out of pocket.
No, for sure. For sure. No, I agree with you. I think a lot of people do look at you guys who played in the NBA or playing in the NBA like y'all, like because y'all made money or making money, y'all bulletproof. Like y'all shouldn't be hurt. Y'all should enjoy everything that comes with life. Even if it's your wife divorced you. You should be okay with that because you made a bunch of millions of dollars. You should half shouldn't be nothing. Give it out half shouldn't be nothing, brother.
We joke about that all the time, but man, you see some of the pain guys are going through, man. And even though, they don't talk about it, bro, because we as men, we just kind of take it on the chin.
Right.
But everything, bro, like when you go from, for example, being with your wife or your girl and your kids or whatever your situation is to now you having to adjust the transition because there's a breakup and now you're fighting for time with your kids. Like look at some of the stuff, man, players have gone through from Christian Woods, for example. Like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Shit, I forgot about him.
uh, but I mean, the videos, the back and forth, they threatening this man's life, whatever happened in that situation. And, he was able to get, full custody of his kid. But it's like, bruh, going through something like that, and then you have the public humiliation of it as well.
Uh-huh.
That's a tough thing to get through, man.
Very much so. Very much so, man. Did you now I don't want to get in your personal life, but did you ever have to go through anything like that and still have to perform? And if you did, how'd you fight through that?
Man, absolutely, man. And it's okay. Like I don't mind giving some examples. So I remember one time I was with the Clippers, right? And my daughter pretty much got kidnapped, bro. Like mom came, picked her up, and never returned her, bro. And it was like
Word.
this thing that I really had to go through. And I'll never forget, like at that time, the young lady that I was with, you know what I'm saying? I'll never forget at that time when she was like, yo, she took her, it was during her time in her window, but she never returned her. And then when it's like I'm calling, I'm trying to see what's going on, and I'm not getting no answer, no response, bro. And to not know where my daughter is, and then have to go through this whole thing of getting the attorney involved and filing reports and doing all of that, man. Like I've had to deal with some stuff, bro. I got a ton of stories, you know what I'm saying, of things that I had to go through, things that I still go through to this day, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm grateful, bro, because these are learning lessons. I can use my experiences to help somebody else. And that's kind of like the way that I look at it
Right.
as my of um, not focusing on the negative, but just kind of turning it into a positive, man. But it's a ton of people, bro, that are going through life and still showing up every day. And because they might look normal to you, it doesn't mean that they're not dealing with some challenges.
Right. Right. And you resolved that, right? I mean, her mom took her. Her mom, she took her without your permission or whatnot, but y'all resolved it. She's back. Your daughter's fine and everything now,
Yeah,
right? Okay. All
but
right. All right. We gotta let the
she's
people know. People might be still confused on the story.
none of none
So,
of it's fine, but there are lifelong wounds
mhm.
that people are still healing from and things that people are still sorting through.
Right.
So, these things, man, like, even though that happened over a decade or so ago, but these are still things that have a lasting imprint. Because when stories get told and they're not told properly, that's the heaviness of some of the things that go on, and kids get caught in the mix of adult business.
Right.
So like I said, I could share a million things that, have happened. I went to jail, what I mean? What year was that? Because I had a few run-ins with the police, but I actually got locked up the year I was with the Hawks,
Okay.
you know, on some BS, bro. And um, having to deal with uh, being in my own city, being profiled, being I wasn't embarrassed, but I'm gonna use these words just to make it make sense. But being handcuffed, bro, like having multiple officers jump on you
Mm.
and treat you in a certain manner, and I still have damage in my wrist to this day because of the way that they put the handcuffs on me. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like they cut my
What,
circle
if you don't
off.
mind me asking, what happened? I'm not too familiar with this story.
Okay, so March, not March, the ACC tournament. It was the ACC tournament or the SEC tournament was in Atlanta,
Okay.
and it was at the convention center or whatever. So you had all the college crowds kind of doing whatever. So we had a game that day.
Right.
I took my same way that I'm coming, and I'm trying to make a left to cross the tracks to go where we enter through the players' entrance. And the light was red. The officer was like telling me to do something. And I was like, bro, I'm not finna run this light. I didn't really know what he was doing. It was super weird. So he just ran up on me. And he
Mm.
he pulled the pistol out, bro. He was trying to open up the car. And I'm on the phone with my uncle. And I'm like, oh, this ain't looking good. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to like
This
lock
when
the
you was
door,
in college, right? Or you was in the league yet?
playing for the Hawks.
Oh, okay, okay. Because you said the
Yeah.
ACC tournament. Okay.
Yeah, it was either the ACC or SEC tournament. I cannot remember. But I was playing for them, bro. We had a game. We had like one of those 1 o'clock games or 2 o'clock
Mhm.
games, whatever. Because it was like a Sunday, I want to say.
Okay.
And man, them folks jumped down on me. So he opened the door, put the tool to my head. And then I'm getting out the car. I'm trying to get out the car slow. And I'm an athlete, bro. So like they handling me. Well, it was one at one point. He handling me a certain type of way. So I'm kind of like bracing myself, bro. And then all of a sudden, I feel a dude jump on my back. He's choking me out. And another officer came. So they took me down. Like I slowly went down, but like I'm holding myself against three men. And they handcuffed me and basically sat me like in the middle of this crowd. So everybody's walking by, looking, pointing.
Oh,
I had teammates that rolled by me, bro. Like it was interesting that day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
wow.
I grew that
Wow.
day. It was interesting.
All because of a misunderstanding with a hand gesture?
It was a misunderstanding, but come to find out, this officer had a track record of doing things like that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So Um, yeah, that was a tough one, bro. And then dig this though, I get locked up in the same jail that my mom used to work at.
Word. So,
So the lady who was taking, she was getting me checked in or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, I know you're talking about.
And
But
she,
yeah, but
she,
yeah, but
yeah, she looking at me. So she looks at me and she looked down at the paper. She was like, "You Lisa boy?"
that's crazy.
And I just dropped my head. I said, "Ma'am." Yes, but I was like, this ain't what you might be thinking. I said, this ain't it. That's
Damn.
all I said.
So you and I'm always shocked. Like I'm as a fan, as a person who watch you guys from afar, and I see that stuff come on Sports Center, I see it come on the news. I'm like, yo, how they getting caught up in this stuff? Like how they getting locked up? These guys got money. These guys out the way. That's at least that's what you would think. But obviously, money can't stop. You think it's like racial profiling at all in that matter, or was it just a asshole
In that
cop?
manner, yeah, in that manner, yes. But I also want to say this too, because I don't want to sound like we don't ever do anything ourselves. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But in that particular moment, because I was on the phone at the same time, like there was nothing that I did, anything crazy. I literally got locked up going into work.
Mm.
Nothing that I did. I didn't run no lights. I didn't do anything before that. Pulling in the work, bro. And
Mm.
you know, eventually the case got dismissed and all of that stuff. I
Good for you.
should have filed a lawsuit, but I just wasn't on that type of time, bro. Like, you know, I looked at it like, man, there was something I needed to learn. I don't want to block my blessing. Let me just keep it moving. So,
I heard that. And you talked about you playing, you mentioned trades earlier. You playing for the Hawks. You played for a few teams. You played for the Hawks. You played for the Lakers, obviously, the Pacers, Mavs, Warriors, and Clippers, and the Rockets. Right? Did I miss anyone? Did I miss any teams?
not
No.
that I could think of at the
So as you know, everyone every time something happens, it's like trade them. We should get look for trades. Being a person who played for several different teams, what people don't. Well, let me ask you this before I say it. What's the biggest like adjustment when you're getting traded? Like, what's the like you got to move your family? Like, how what's off the court stuff? Like, I mean, obviously, is you gonna do what you need to do when it comes to on the court, but off the court, what's the biggest adjustments?
man, you got like 48 hours to
Yeah.
like like literally like so if you imagine at that time, at those times, I was in rentals. Like I didn't buy anything yet. Like so I could only imagine like going through that process. But literally like being in your home and figuring out you got to go somewhere and got to report at a certain time. So hopefully you got somebody to help you pack up, do whatever you need to do,
Mm,
and you just got to get like leave. Like you just got to move on. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I remember with Dallas, for example, I had just like we had just lost in the finals. Just had a baby.
Uh,
Uh, like I'm dealing with all this stuff, getting ready for summer league, and I'm just finishing a workout, bro. And I'm at the crib watching Sports Center with my agent, and my name goes across the ticker. Like, it's,
yeah. Really? I was just about to ask that. I was about to ask it. Well, did you have a crazy story like you at the market and somebody say, "Yo, you just got traded. What you doing?"
that one was crazy. And then here's another one that was crazy, and I can laugh at it now, but I was tight, boy. Indiana. So I was on that team when we got traded to Golden State. Um, I was the last piece to get the trade to go through.
Right.
So when I had found out that Al Harrington had got traded, I'm like, bro, like, let me get all your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Al was my boy. Like, we was close. So I was just like, man, like, I hate to see you go. We had like a small conversation, but I'm like, man, let me get them shoes. So as I'm getting his
Let
shoes,
me get them shoes.
they, they like, they like, hey, bro, they want to talk to you too.
Oh shit.
Boy, I was so tight, bro. I was so tight, bro.
Yeah.
Some of them laughing at me, but I was
What
tight.
what's the feeling? What's the feeling like? Like when you like obviously, you sitting there watching TV or whatever, and then your name come across the screen. You don't know you obviously wasn't prepared for it, you wasn't ready for it. So what's the feeling like when it's something like that happens?
Initially, it's like, man, they don't want me,
Uh,
right? But
right,
then you start really understanding that this is a business,
right,
and you know, not everything necessarily has to do with your talent or whatever's going on in that moment. Like they might need to get something off the books or make something make sense so they can move a piece and then get ready for the summer. I mean, it could be anything, bro.
right,
But
right.
initially, you know what I mean, especially because my first time I got traded, I was really young. Like I didn't get a chance to like be with one team for 2 to 3 years or something like that. Um, or 3 to 4 years, excuse me, because I was with the Dallas the first couple of years. But it's just like that. They don't want me. Like what did I do? You know what I'm saying? You start questioning yourself like that. But then when you start understanding like the different movement. And I'm grateful that my agent was breaking some stuff down, so that made it a lot better to digest. But then I also looked at it like I got another opportunity.
Right. That's dope. That's dope. What's the Worst team you played for?
None of them.
None of all of them was good for you. All right, fair enough.
Because technically, somebody would say the Clippers, being that we had a terrible record that year, we got down to, man, we only had like 7 active players.
Mm, damn.
But for
What year
me,
was this? What year was this?
2008,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, 2008. And but the way I looked at it, like statistically, that was my best year
Hmm.
because I got the chance to play. And I know you mentioned that earlier, like,
Yep.
and to be honest, the Clippers that season is what helped me get that Lakers job. Every
Mm,
time I played the Lakers, I had double doubles or close to double doubles. I had really good games. And they had Ronnie Terry off, right? Ronnie had a strong year for them. Golden State decided to pay him, and it left that vacancy open. I
mm,
got the call, was it late on a Tuesday, Wednesday? I can't even remember, but basically it was like my agent was like, "Hey, you got to get on a plane first thing in the morning for a workout with Lakers." Soon as he got his deal, that's kind of how that happened.
mm.
And I was locked in, bro. Like I got off the plane, didn't eat, went straight to the gym, laced them up, man, and got a 2-year deal.
Dope.
Like those are the things that I'm proud of, bro, because that's a part of the journey and the process. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
No, for sure.
And
For sure.
people could make excuses because it's like for one, I already went to bed hella late because I got the call late.
Mm,
I'm just doing what I'm normally doing. I'm up kicking it. I'm up, I had just finished working out. I'm just chilling at the crib, doing whatever, and I'm and chilling. And then I get a call like, "Hey, you gotta get on the plane first thing in the morning." So I have to be up in like 2 to 3 hours. I had a 6 a.m. flight, and then I land in LA at like 8 something in the morning,
mm.
9 something in the morning. Go straight to the court, bro. I just had to work out,
Right.
and that was it.
Wow. Is is LA or the Lakers the best team you play for? I guess like your best experience. I mean, given though you had two rings.
Man, I had a lot of great experiences for different reasons. So from a championship standpoint, the caliber of the team and the history of the team. And what I mean by the history of the team is for me personally, I wish that, and I say this all the time, I wish that everybody could experience playing for the Lakers, right?
Mm,
And throughout their career. It's
right.
just a different beast.
Mm,
You can't beat that, bro, because first of all the greats that have come through that organization, the tradition, they're used to winning, like going to the playoffs, that's nothing for them. They're championship team. So when you
right.
look at Lakers, look at Boston, I'm sure Boston, from a Celtic standpoint, the standard, the way that they operate, the fans, the expectation, like there's a lot there
Right.
that's very exciting for somebody to be able to be a part of that. Because the 2 years that I was with the Lakers, like that was the only team that I could think about. Now, mind you, like I was on the Dallas team. We had two really good teams and went to the finals one year and lost.
Uh-huh.
Um, the Atlanta Hawks team was really good. The Houston team was really good. The Indiana team was really good. Like I can name teams
Mm,
that we were really good, but it's like, man, being a part of that purple and gold is a different beast, bro. That's a
no,
that's a global animal right there.
no, yeah. I got some friends who's some Laker fans. What they think they Laker fans, but they really Kobe fans. Uh,
That is different, yes.
but I keep telling them, man, it's easy to be a Laker fan, bro. Like, I mean, I'm 40, so my friends around the same age, 37, 38, or whatnot. So you figure when you was able to even understand basketball, you was at 9 years old, 8 years old, which was like what, almost 95, 96, for at least for me anyway. You talking about Kobe right there. Like they the best. Like it's easy to be a Laker fan at that point.
Yeah,
Shoot, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Speaking of Kobe, Kobe scored 81. This is yesterday was the anniversary for it. Quick question for you. Where were you when you saw that he had 81? Because I remember being in the weight room and I was watching Sports Center and they was talking and that was the first time. That's yeah, I was watching Sports Center and that's when I saw they had 81. I thought it was I thought it was like a mistake at the bottom of it. It said 81.
2007, right?
Seven. Uh-huh.
6, 7, yeah. So I was with Indiana, if
Uh-huh.
I'm mistaken, and we either just finished the game or I want to say we just finished the game. Um, when we no, because he was, but I'm trying to think of where we were because we got that in real time. Like as soon as we were done, it was like that popped up on the screen. I was like, ain't no way that man just had 81, but he was on a tear that year.
Yeah, he was on the tear that
That
year.
I want to say that was probably his best statistical year. I want to say he averaged
Five.
35,
Yep,
right?
35. Yep. Uh-huh.
He was man, he was going crazy, bro.
Mm.
50s, 40s. Oof.
Yeah, he was
So yeah,
he,
I remember a lot
what
from him.
yeah, I like so what was it like your guys as far as NBA players, how was you guys when I say how was you guys taking it as far as like just like yo, this dude scored 81. Like you know what I mean? Like yeah.
To be able to see a Wilt Chamberlain-like game in real time,
Uh-huh.
crazy,
Yeah, that's wild,
crazy.
bro. I
You
know
know what I'm
you
saying? That's the only way you could really look at it or have something to kind of compare it to is like that man really had 81. And then
mm,
and then here's another perspective too, is like he could have easily broke it a few times.
mm, yeah.
There have been other games where he like I was on the other end when he had remember when he had
I
65
I
and
was
I
about
was
it
on the
with
other
the
end, bro. I
oh, I
seen
was
that.
just about to ask you that. Was you there?
Seen
Was you
that.
third quarter? He only scored
30,
60 and three quarters.
bro, 30, I forgot what he had in that third, like ridiculous. And sat
Jeez.
down.
So, all
So
right, what are you guys saying as defenders though? Like, nah, you got him. You got nah. Like, y'all passing the buck. Like, is y'all? Because I never played against anyone of that caliber who just you just can't stop. And it's like, I wonder, as a fan, you like, yo, like you trying to coach y'all, like, yo, put your hand, why his hand out up? Like, as you think anything would have, what would have stopped them at that time?
I've seen him in many of those, whether it's being on the opposite end of it or being on the same team, bro. And it's like he get in mode, and then you got to think too, the way the triangle is set up, he's catching it in certain spots that it's hard to double. You're
Mm,
gonna eat you alive. So if you're a basketball savant, right? Not you, but I'm talking about the average fan, because everybody says that they get the game. When you catching it in these certain spots, bro, like how you gonna double? And
right.
then if he's kind of like that mid post area, or the way that they can position him where he can just do one or two dribbles, like or just a jab jumper.
Yep.
And when you see that he's hitting like that, man, good luck. I just watched
Mhm.
this one, bro, when they were showing the old All Star game, and I remember when they were sending the double at Kobe, right? He gave it up, and the next one, that thing right back to him, bro. And he did like cuff the ball, put it behind his back. As the double was coming, he kind of lulled them to sleep, drove baseline, and pulled up, bro. Like, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because the defender thinking like, okay, well, I know the double is coming, but if you don't do your job to keep him going towards the double, good luck. And
Uh-huh.
Kobe got some of the best footwork we've ever seen in the game.
Facts. No, that's facts. And you had a chance to play alongside Kobe as well. You want to share with any like crazy workout stories? I know you shared a story last time when he I believe he was he had I think something happened where he had to fly somewhere, then flew back to the game, dropped 50 or something like that, then had to go back or to fly somewhere else after that. I think it was
So
some person.
that was during his court trial. I remember that clip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that was during his court trial, man. I mean, I remember when we were in Chicago, and we just finished the game, got a win. And he had already been telling me like, "Hey man, we're gonna get up in the morning, go get some work in." Now, mind
Mm-hmm.
you, after the game, we went out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me what time to be up and everything, but I'm talking, I'm beat, bro. So I get downstairs. He's not down there yet. He get off the elevator with some shades on, like it was nothing, bro. He's walking through the lobby like, "All right, JP, let's go." I'm like, bro, God dang, I'm dragging, bro. I'm dragging, bro. But for me, once I get in the gym, I'm good. But it's like to see just how he was just like, I don't think I've ever seen bro like look tired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how dialed in he was, man. And those are the things that
Have,
I
let me ask you
appreciate.
this. Let me ask you this, because this is important here. What was driving him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know the first ring, I get it, right? He wanted to prove, I mean, at least that's from the media perspective, he had to show that he can do it without Shaq, right? And then I interviewed you, Samaki Walker, both guys who played with him, and he just seemed from the stories you guys are giving me, it seems like he was just so determined. And and I'm trying to figure out like what was like, did he ever sit and talk to you, or ever overhear like was making him so driven? Because at that time when he won the championship, in my personal opinion, I think he was the best. I mean, LeBron was creeping up, but I believe that he was like Lil Wayne was making songs about him. I was like, yeah, it's time. It's Kobe time,
The
bro.
other
It's
goat, by the way, that's the other goat. I'm going to sneak that in there.
what Wayne.
Argue with your mama. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about all your
Off he, no, yeah, you're right. Wayne is like, what is he? Wayne two, number two for me. Jay-Z number one.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
whole number one. But
Uh,
but yeah, I always wanted to know that. Like he seemed just so determined. Like what was I? Because I know in the beginning of his career, from what I seen outside of looking in, he was kind of having fun. He going to prom with Brandy. He's doing songs with Beanie Siegel. He's doing songs with Tyra Banks. He was in shows and shit, making guest appearances in shows and shit like that. And I know he was going through his court case. I know. Then he started getting more serious. Then he just after that he just turned up. But he blew past all his people we try to compare him to. The Allen Iversons. That's my guy. That's my number one guy. But he blew past him. Vince Carter. And then the young guys was coming up, D Wade, Bron, all these guys. He was showing like, yo, I'm that guy. But after he blew past, I'm trying to figure out what was driving him to the point where he like, look, I ain't no days off. I don't care where we going.
I think one of the things is right, like number 8, coming in as a young kid, and I think there's a part of the basketball was always
Mm,
number 1, 2, and 3. But I think when you look at being in the city like LA, having the chance to explore other avenues,
mm,
do some things that's good, important for your career, figuring out some other ways when it comes to business. That's why you're seeing the album, the acting, and some of the other stuff. Um, but it didn't change as he continued to grow, because when you look at how things were delivered, from the shoe, the whole Kobe brand, the commercials, like he was still in a sense doing those things. I mean, bro jumped over a car one time, right? So that was later on in his career as well. So he was still doing some of these things that just look different. And from a driven standpoint, if anything, I feel like you would have to go back to the little boy who was living overseas in Italy.
mm.
You would have to go to those things that made him who he is, his hunger, his drive, his dedication, having to always figure it out.
Right.
And then in some situations, again, I don't want to speak for him. This is just me and having my moment right now. In some situations, just being driven because maybe not feeling like he belonged, or wanting to prove that he is this, that, and the third. So you have those things that are imprinted in you, and that becomes a part of your foundation.
Gotcha.
And as we've seen him, he had a list, man. He paid attention. He asked questions. Like when you hear all the stories around the league, it was like he was really a student of the game, and he always wanted to know things. He always wanted to figure out how he could be better than whoever it was, whoever that person was at that time. So
Right.
he was always mask on for Bean. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Always.
So we'll go back to trades, right? So John Morant. John Morant is he's on the hot seat. He's trying to get people at least think he want to get out of Memphis. What do you think? I mean, do you think he should stay in Memphis, or do you think it would be a what would be a good fit for him at this point?
I think he should stay, me personally.
Right.
I think that when guys transition out of their initial situations being franchise players, not everybody can adjust.
Hmm.
So even though the adjustment might be better for him, we still don't know what that might look like career wise because the expectations and certain things. Like I know you hear people talk about the Miami Heat, for example.
Hmm.
You can't adjust to that culture, it's going to be tough
What
for
what
you.
what what is about what is the Miami Heat culture? I know I hear it's really old school. Pat Riley
Bro,
is super old school.
the work. So I had signed with them uh for like summer league or something like that.
Hmm.
And bro, I remember them practices and that grind, which is something that I'm not saying that I'm not used to, but it's still an adjustment. You know what I mean? Like when, especially way back then, like they've probably made some adjustments now because Spoelstra but they still have the culture, but it's not Pat Riley. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I think the other thing too is like when you have the demand for excellence in playoffs is just not going to get it. Like you got to think, man, the Heat were used to making championship runs for you know a window of time that they were constantly in that space. And then and I'm talking about before LeBron got there, like when D Wade started doing what he was doing, and then winning the championship early on the way that he did. That bar was like it went from whatever to being pushed up,
Mm.
and then added all of that talent, on top of that. So that culture is a real thing, but they do have not only a phenomenal coaching staff, but they have a great group of guys. So he could adjust, but
Hmm.
sometimes, man, like with some people, right? Because what we're seeing right now is almost like young King, get out your way.
Right. Right.
I
Yep.
don't judge him, right? But I do think that you've gotten into so much in Memphis, and the grace, you still have grace. Like, don't do what you're doing right now. Just be cool, bro, because there are kids that look up to you. Memphis still needs that star. They need that person, and
Right.
he fits that culture.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he could be him. He got his grill in. He doing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
like that South. Like, bro, that's you.
Yeah.
So I don't. I understand he's probably frustrated in certain things, but again, this is a part of him becoming the vet. Because what year is this for him? I think what.
6 seasons. 6 seasons.
So okay, so I hit it. But it's like you're in that you're 4 years away from being 10 years in.
Right.
And the
No, for
time
sure.
flies so fast, man. And it's like clearly you're extremely talented. You got arguably one of the hottest shoes on the market right now. Whoever did that shoe this year
It is. It's the top selling shoe for
went
this year. Shit, I'm about
went
to.
crazy,
Yeah, I'm about to get something. I don't even play basketball.
bro. Went crazy. Whoever did that shoe this year went crazy. I don't know how they're gonna do it for next year, but it surpassed the ones, the twos, the threes is crazy.
No,
So you got
facts.
the shoe. I get it. Memphis doesn't have the best team, but if you lock in to what you're doing, perform the way that you need to perform, do what you got to do in the community, all of that, bro. Like whatever. Then Memphis has to be the team that has to like, all right, let's get him some pieces and keep this thing going because you also got to understand the Memphis culture too. That
Right.
Debo and TA and they I think people forget because it was so long ago, but they had arguably one of the best players to play the game and arguably one of the best European players to play the game when they had
Jennifer
Powell.
Powell, yep.
And Powell ain't never been sweet, bro. Memphis
Mm.
Powell, crazy.
Uh-huh. That's
Then then
I'm
you
I'm
have
glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I like my Laker friends, they always feel like Powell wasn't as good. It wasn't for Kobe. And I know Kobe
they
made
gotta
guys
stop.
better, but Powell
They
was
gotta
tough.
they gotta stop, bro.
Facts.
Powell had first of all being 7 foot 1, the skill set, post work, can shoot the midi, can
Mm-hmm.
pass and play make, can push the ball in transition if need be, can hit
Mm-hmm.
the three if need be. Like, come on, bro.
Yep.
People
Big
got to
fact.
stop. Man. Like he was a double double, one of the nicest guys ever, but phenomenal basketball player, bro.
Man.
And people overlook that. So then it's like that standard that was set for so many years with all of them guys. Like there is also a culture in Memphis as well.
Gotcha.
So I just feel like for me personally, man, I hope and pray that Ja can figure some things out. I also hope and pray that the Memphis Grizzlies organization can figure out some things too,
Yeah,
because it's
for sure.
a one-sided thing. I'm not gonna sit up here and blame Ja. Like there's accountability on both sides,
Nah, for sure.
and I just hope that he can figure it out, man. Because a lot of times players aren't able to adjust well. Like KD
Mm-hmm.
is KD, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't let's not get that twisted. We've seen other franchise guys go to other teams and not look the same.
Right.
Even if the numbers are close, they still don't look the same. So
Yep.
the types of things to kind of take into consideration. Melo was Melo, right? Everywhere Melo went, Melo was Melo.
Mellow
So
was mellow.
Denver
Facts.
Melo was crazy, but when he went to New York, it was wicked.
Facts.
Like bro was going crazy. So I think that, that's something to kind of be understood because systems do matter. Coaching does matter.
Right.
Your personnel, your teammates, however you want to call it, it does matter. And I,
Right.
and I think that people take that lightly because you get certain guys that are amazing talents, but compared to their style of play, you still need certain systems and people in place to make that thing make sense.
Well, facts, facts. Now, speaking of coaching, you a Golden State Warriors former alumni. Steve Kerr. I just put a post out. I think it's time to start looking for someone else to fill that role. Because we seeing Jonathan Kuminga, we know how talented he is. Obviously, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but when he does get an opportunity to play, he most time perform. And the Golden State Warriors has been on a roll for the last 12, 15 to what 12, 13 years now. But they not. It seems like they're not changing the culture. So, do you think that it's time for a culture change for the Golden State Warriors? And and if you do think it's a change, do you think it's a change with the players or the coaches?
I think everything will change once Steph is done.
Mm,
I don't know what they're going to change because for one, I know that Steph is such a legend there. You're not going to disrupt that. You're going to let him do what he needs to do peacefully. I don't even remember what year this is for Steph, but
18,
that's a long time, brother.
long time. Facts.
And him, Draymond, I believe, are the last of the Mohicans because Clay's gone.
Hmm.
Um, so that's really it. So to sit up here and be like, well, we're going to change Steve Kerr, which I know people are frustrated with him, but please don't get it twisted. That man brought y'all multiple championships to that city. He was a
Yeah.
part of that.
Yep. Facts. No
So
facts.
I wish people would just I get it, you're frustrated, but let's understand that this was a total group effort in how this thing went down. Now, here's another thing I want to point out.
Hmm.
Usually, teams like Golden State have mastered keeping a lot of their stuff internal.
Right.
The Jordan Poole situation with Draymond Green, that doesn't happen at Golden State, and I'm really hoping that they can find whoever did that because that's not cool.
What you mean, like who recorded and leaked it?
The recording and the leaking of it, like you
Okay.
know what I'm saying, like that because these are in-house things, bro. Like these things happen on every team. Like there's a ton of stuff that you know what I'm saying. Like
What,
it
like
stays
altercations? Like physical
all
alter
fights, bro,
Yeah.
arguments. Like these things happen. I'm saying that to say there's something there that we don't know about.
Mm,
Clearly, I don't. I don't think because we know Jonathan Kaminga is ridiculously talented. We know that he can perform. We know that he can put up. But there's something there. Now, the thing that I don't like, that I'm not a fan of, is how uh, people can take things personal.
right.
Because at the end of the day, this is our job.
Right. Right.
And if I'm a coach, I want to put the best product on the floor that I could put on the floor, period. Me personally. And I've been a coach. I've been, on a coaching staff. So I think that there's something there. Now I'm hoping that he just had 27 and whatever recently. I'm hoping that this will allow him to continue to play and to perform and do whatever. That's what I'm hoping.
Right.
But we'll see. But I hope that Jonathan just continues to be a pro and show up. Control what you can control.
Yeah.
Leave. Don't, because here's what's gonna happen, bro. If he doesn't play it right, even though we know he's an amazing talent, don't do nothing stupid and then a team not sign you to the money that you're deserving of. Because
Yep.
that can happen.
Yep. Facts. No, facts.
That can usually happen because his attitude, or we know he wasn't treated properly, but he wasn't showing up, or he was like, don't be that person, bro. Keep being
Yeah.
a pro.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
When you get 20 minutes, I'm not even basing it off the fact that he had 20 and 20 minutes. I'm just at the end of the day, like, bro, just play as hard as you can, do the right things, cheer your teammates on, like, be a pro. And
Right.
that's the part for many people that be acting like it's sweet. They know dang on well when they little pride and ego gets hit, they wouldn't be able to show up to work and do the same, bro.
For
Not
sure.
not can't have to perform, won't be able to do it.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. If you was a GM, at what point do you blow it up? If you the GM, like at what point, what signs do you see? And you like, you know what, it ain't it.
I think really it starts with having a conversation with ownership on down
Right.
because bro, you got Steph Curry, arguably one of the best players to ever play the game. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like you I know you running a business, but you still got fans who are loyal to Steph for everything that he's done. Same thing with Draymond, bro. Like, and I get it. Like Draymond's having, you know, Draymond's going through whatever. I feel that there's something there, bro. And I'm not here judging, bro. It's all love, you know what I'm saying? But these moments, bro, like there's a reason why those two need to stick together. Steve Kerr I feel is a good coach to be able to handle the episodes that Draymond has. I feel that things are happening the way that they are up until Steph says like I'm done, or Draymond, you know what I mean, or they both say we're done together.
Right. I agree. I agree. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. And now you still watch a lot of basketball, I can tell. And
I try to pay attention.
yeah, and you as you know, and times has changed since you played. It's definitely changed since you played.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because you played the big man, a big in the NBA. What's the most underrated? skill for the modern big man today? Is it setting screens? Is it passing?
It's setting screens, of course.
Mm,
Um, because when you're looking at guys come off open, I mean, you got to think, bro. The pick and roll is arguably the hardest play to guard.
facts.
And you have teams doing multiple actions. You got pick and roll. You got the drag screen and transition. You got, pick and roll off of a floppy action. You got all these different actions. And then do you put a guard and a shooter? Do you put a big and a wing? Do you put a wing on a big? Like, because the game has changed as well. So you have all of these things, man. But from a big standpoint, getting guys open and doing that well is
Mm,
a skill. And if you don't
facts.
believe me, ask Draymond Green, who's a four-time champ, who has done this for his career in making Steph and Clay and those guys look really good.
No, that's a
Next
fact.
thing I would say would be passing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Being a
Very
playmaker,
undervalued. Passing is very undervalued. You got that right.
if you are a playmaker as a big, you are a huge asset to a team.
No, that's facts.
Don't believe me? Ask the MVP who lives in Denver, who is not American, who is an amazing passer, but he will still give you 30 at the same time. If you don't believe me,
Right.
that's what
No, for
makes it
sure.
so dangerous, bro. Like if you are a scorer and a passer, you
Different beast.
it's a different beast.
Yeah. No, for
Because
sure.
you affect the game in ways, bro. Like it's just like being one player. Like when Joker has 30 and 15 assists and whatever, it's like you alone were responsible for 75 points.
Hmm. Crazy.
People don't look at it like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he had 30, but he had 15 assists. Like, so things like that from a basketball standpoint, if you study the game the way that most people say, or they have the basketball mind the way that they say, like, there's an appreciation for that.
Right. No, for sure. Do you I ask this one later. We're gonna keep it flowing. I'm about to cause I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna ask, do you ever feel like when you because I going back to the comments, when guys sit and be like, man, I got a basketball mindset. I got it's the eye test. Do you ever feel a little offended? Like, especially for if it's coming from a person who didn't play, like they didn't play past high school?
Me personally, no, because
Okay.
I respect everybody, and then I always have the mindset of there are some people, that didn't play past college or pro. Obviously, if they didn't play in college, but extremely talented. What happened? What went wrong? And the other thing I want to say is this: like, no, no, I'm not offended. I think I already said that, but I'm just gonna make it plain. I'm not offended because I get it. But the other thing I want to say too is just because guys played in the NBA doesn't mean that they are the end all be all either.
Facts. That's a fact.
And that's the part that bothers me as well because some guys who are in media or do podcasting, they make it seem like their word is bond, and
Hmm.
it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, yeah, you did what you did. You had the team that you had, um, but that doesn't mean that you are um, a savant when it comes to that, or your IQ is just on a whole nother level, or you see the game so different. Like, stop it.
Facts.
So I'm saying that too because that's the reason for me why I am humbled. Even when I do go back and forth with people in comments and stuff like that, you notice that I don't really go left or go right. I keep it where I need to keep it, but I always at the end of the day tell people if it was so easy, bro, you should be there. There are people who are like, I hate basketball. I hate why. Well, go get a jersey, bro, and go do your part to change what you hate. Other than that,
Hmm.
stop.
Facts. Facts. It amazes me because this is like, starting this page or starting this journey or brand or whatnot. I was oblivious to how people felt about the NBA, NBA players, until I started reading the comments. I didn't know people hated it so much. I didn't know people were such good referees. I didn't know everyone knew about basketball. I didn't know it was even an argument to some of these debates. Like I'm just like, like I was super confused. But I love talking about it. I can do this all day. But no, let's get back to it, man. What's the hardest thing is it like in today's game? Today's game, they passing the ball, everybody shooting threes. You got a lot of guys going downhill. Everybody can pretty much show us in their bag. What do you think is the hardest to cover today? Is it the threes? Is it the downhill?
I mean, it's the pick and roll
The
because
pick
a
and
lot of
roll?
that's the one thing that the 3-point range has changed over the years.
Right,
Pick and roll has always been a hard thing to guard.
right.
And when you look at who's in the pick and roll, when you look at all of these different dynamics, man, you got people that snake in pick and rolls now. You got like, bro, they are so crafty in how they can get a bucket. And that's why it's hard because as a big, when you got a guy shooting from um, the what's the little mark? The three is past the 3 point. It's the marks that are on the side. I can't even think right now. I'm having a moment, but
Uh,
it's like
not
the little
not half court.
not half court, but it's the little mark that's over half court. But it's like the deep threes. When you
Right.
start shooting 30 to 35 feet, like guys that can peel that thing like Steph or Dame or
Damn. Uh-huh.
and to be honest, this is everybody doing that.
Yep.
This is Luka. This is
Tyrese Maxey, everybody.
this is everybody,
They
bro.
doing
That
step backs.
step backs from three. Like, so as a big, I gotta come up because I gotta help my guard, but then I'm also susceptible to the roll or the pop guy. Like, there's a lot there. So
Right,
when people are looking at a game, they feel it's so easy because you're watching it. But the people participating, you're making game decisions in seconds, bro. You
right.
don't even have, by the time you blink, something else done already happened. And you're doing that in real time. And that's why I'm saying, like, you gotta respect what pros do because
Got
it's
to.
not sweet. The amount that you have to process in a 24-second possession is not sweet.
No, that's facts.
Because you got transition, you got late transition, you got, when you're in a set now, you got like, bro, you got all of these different things when it comes to basketball that you got to make the adjustments, you got to do this, you got to do that. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Facts. Facts, man. So the All-Star break is on All-Star weekend is coming up and it's starting to be a big topic. Let me ask you, do you feel as though is the All-Star game still competitive to you?
Look at, I see what you did there.
What? I'm just asking the questions here. They, the fans want to know. It's good to hear from former NBA players how they feel about the All Star game.
I mean, I think there's room to grow. I think we should just get back to how it was. But I also understand the adjustment because you're trying to tweak the so-called issue that you see. But I just think, man, it should really just get back to guys treating this like they would a regular season game and go hard and entertain the people because the old saying is true, man. When you playing around, that's the easiest way to get hurt.
Yep. Yep.
But they want to sit up there and say like, well, I don't want to do this so I don't get hurt. But it's like, don't put that energy in the universe. Give the fans what they want to see.
I agree.
That's it, point blank period. And then you don't have to worry about the gimmicks or anything else. Like get to the point where you want to show that you are the best player on the court of best players.
Right. No, I agree with that.
To that in that game, like where they want to be the best out of the best.
Hmm. No, that's facts. I'm a so I think you're trying to say, yeah, it needs to improve. It needs to get better. It's not what it used to be. And if that's what you're trying to say, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. We do miss like, but we do miss guys competing, but um I think it's just it's a challenge because we consume basketball a little differently now. Like we look at the games in the '90s, early 2000s, or whatnot. Me being from Philly, I didn't get a chance to see a guy like Chris Webber play a lot. You know, so when he played in an All-Star game, and I get a chance to see him play against a guy like, let's say, I'm East Coast power forward, Jermaine O'Neal. I get to see him play against Jermaine O'Neal. Now I'm a little excited. Now, but you got all these streaming sites and everything else. Like right now in the background here, I got Milwaukee versus the Denver Nuggets. I wouldn't have had that in Philly back in the day. I would have missed that whole thing. Giannis would have been someone I would have seen in highlights, and then
Yeah.
probably a couple times on NBC. I think when you have so much, like when you see all these guys, and you're also seeing a lot of these guys from high school on up through social media or whatnot. And I think the way we consume it takes away a little bit of the anticipation for it, and then we start to expect more than we once did. Right? Like I do think they need to compete a little better. Like I don't want to see them just everybody coming down, shoot a three from half court, your turn to shoot a three from half court. I do want to see them compete. But I think some of this stuff is like basketball consumption, like for all of us, for even the players. I think they taking the time for granted. I think the fans take what we have for granted. I think it's so much that goes into this weekend that we didn't have back then.
But that's also and I'm not making excuses or anything, but that's also the other side of it because man, some guys their last game what might be that Thursday before All Star Weekend. I think,
Hmm.
man. So it's like or the Wednesday, and then you got Thursday that's a travel, and then you already back doing whatever Friday, and then it's like Saturday, Sunday. Like it's so much going on.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
And I think just looking at it from both sides because players are also looking at, they would want to look at this as having a break. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm not mad at what the players. I'm not mad at what the supporters are wanting. I do think it is our responsibility to be professional and make sure we're giving the people what they want to see. Um, I don't know who breaks that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because when you look at it, it's like everybody's on that type of time, except when Giannis is in there. Like I feel like Giannis be the only one trying to
What's
fill up that stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? And
no?
do
He gonna play hard.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I just think again, like you know there's other ways to go about it, but just be responsible as pros
I
and
agree.
give these people what they want to see.
I agree. I got a couple more questions for you, man. I'm gonna get you out of there. I see you stretching your back. I know what that feel like. I see you get adjust to
No,
yourself.
because I'm sitting, look, this chair, you know what I'm saying? Got to get right. You know what I mean? Then I'm trying
No,
to.
that's why I had to lean back, man. That 40 kick in at some point, man. You sitting up straight the time. So I'm gonna try to get you out here as fast as possible. Now you played obviously with your role in the NBA. Tell me what's a non-negotiable? What's a non-negotiable when it comes to earning minutes as a role player? Like things you just can't do. Like you can't be late for practice. What's a non-negotiable?
I feel like everything's a non-negotiable because the thing that most players don't really understand is you're always being watched.
Mm,
So they know what time you get to the gym. They know what time you leave. They
mm-hmm,
know when you get on the court. Some guys, even though they might be like, say, for example, you got to practice. Some guys show up 3 hours before practice.
mm.
Some guys show up 30 minutes before practice.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your mindset? Where's your head at? Like you're not afforded to be that person to do the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, for sure.
So that, I feel like all of those things would be considered non-negotiables.
Right. Do you think now obviously there's a lot of fans out there who's addicted to ring culture. Do you think ring culture misleads the fans when it comes to great players who didn't win a ring? Like winning rings is that the ultimate signature for a play for a great player?
I'm not a fan of the ring culture.
Mm,
Um, but I do get it
right.
because I don't want to say that I'm not understanding of it, but I think it should not be the end all be all
I agree.
because
Hmm.
because you're gonna base it on the ring culture, then we already know who has that hands down. And I don't think it's right to move the goalpost to be like, oh well, the players weren't that good back in the like. We got to stop.
Hmm.
Those were the pros at that time. You wasn't trying to see them. There's no way you was gonna go in the hole against a Bill Russell or a Wilt Chamberlain. Like, let's just be honest.
Yep.
And Wilt was a whole different beast. So if we're gonna do ring culture, then we gotta respectfully, hands down, that's gotta be Bill. The other argument, and I think I said this last time, but I'll reiterate it, maybe I didn't, but I don't understand why Kareem is not in a large part of these conversations when you talk about a champion
Right.
or being considered the GOAT,
Right.
because he had the scoring title for the longest time. You talking about what did he do? 3 championships in high school, 2 to 3 at UCLA,
Mm.
gold medalist, and then he ran off what 6 championships?
6 championships. Facts.
Almost 40,000 points off of the boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Facts. Off the sky hooking.
got one move, bro, that you serving folks your whole life.
It's still unguardable. Still,
That's
still,
it, bro, my boy.
still unguardable, bro.
And he gave Dr. J that work in that one-on-one game.
So, oh shit, I didn't see that one. I gotta check that one out. I missed that one.
It's an old clip, man. You got to go back and look.
Yeah, I gotta look at that. I'm about to put it in the notes right now. What I was going to another question I wanted to ask you too. Do you think the 3-point era is hurting the game?
I don't look at it as hurting the game because you got to be responsible in what you do.
Right.
Understand you're not Steph. I,
Mm-hmm.
I think Steph, Clay, some of these guys, it was like there was this pool of people, but the pool started to get bigger
Mm.
because now you got at least one sniper on every team.
Facts. Facts.
And I'm talking about they doing it at a high clip. Like, remember, think about this, right? This is a perspective for you. When I played, knockdown 3-point shooters were ranging from 33 to around 37%, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but I know you'll look it up and
Yeah.
whatever. Guys are shooting 40 to 45%
100%.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about they peeling that thing from half or wherever.
Yep.
And this is the evolution of the game. And it's like people have an issue. It's not killing the game. What if anything, and this in my heart of hearts, bro. If anything is killing the game, it's analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Analytics is a positive thing, but it's also something that is hurting the game because when you have people either shooting threes or they got to go for a dunk, and then you try to remove the mid-range shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, clearly, they're not able to do it, right? But I was on a coaching staff where I saw like the people coming from in the stand, like up from where they were to hand pieces of paper over to the other coaches to say, hey, got to shoot more threes, or you got to do this, or you got like, bro, there's a lot that goes on that bench that people don't know about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's tough, bro. And a lot of this comes from analytics, bro. Like it's frowned upon to take a midi, but when you look at some of the best scorers in the game, right?
Mid-range guys.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Tonight, listen, bro. Before D Book rolled his ankle, I was at the game.
Mm.
I was at the game, bro. And the way Book gets to his spots, bro, and I mean just the middies, bro. Just let he get into his spot.
Yep.
KD, same thing. Like you're looking
Facts.
at Melo, like you're looking at people who get the game on a different level, bro. And you can't when you're making the right decision, bro. It's like make a basketball play. But
Mm.
some guys, you might see them run to the 3-point line. You might have a wide open layup, but you might run to the 3-point line because this is the way that the game is being taught these days.
Right.
I can't say whether I'm for it or I'm not for it because when you look at brand, when you look at what fans want to see because they're complaining about it, but just imagine me and you when we were watching the game back when, or even when I was playing, playing the game. People don't respect teams holding teams to 80 points, 88 points no more.
Right.
If
No, for
if
sure.
a fan was to watch that, the same fan that complains about the 3-point line or the NBA is soft or whatever they want to say, but if you went back to that Detroit basketball from back in the day, or the San Antonio Spurs defense back in the day, or the Memphis Grizzlies defense back in the day, bro, everybody would be complaining.
Yeah.
But you don't appreciate great basketball. You don't appreciate second or third efforts. You don't appreciate guys closing out, chopping their feet, help side coming from the bottom to cut off, like or the guy who was at the top that gets the V back to help the guy that came like, bro, I can talk this basketball star all day, but nobody really appreciates that because you want to see buckets.
Yeah.
You want
That's a
guys
fact.
scoring, guys dunking, you want to see exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to the teaching of it is what's needed. And then when you put it in perspective, most players are only really being taught the game on a college level.
Right.
And then from there, because this was a conversation I was just having this morning with my partner, like, and to go from there to being a pro, like there are some things you'll learn at a pro level, but at that point, bro, it's like there's an expectation. But college is where you get a majority of that game on certain things. And then when you get to the NBA or whatever, now you're learning pace, which they don't
Mm.
teach in college like that.
Right.
It's a big thing. So when you look at young fella from Kansas who's having his way,
Yeah. He
that
tough.
brother got amazing pace.
Mm-hmm.
Young fella, talented. He knows how to get to his spots. He knows how to create for others. Like these are things that when you have the IQ and you see it, you're like, yeah, he's a pro because
Right.
he's doing things now that you learn later.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. I mean, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I think it's the small. Only I agree with you to a certain extent. I ain't gonna lie to you. Guys, some teams I watch like the Blazers. I remember watching a Blazers game. It was like 10 for 42 or 10 for 37. I do think when it's your off day, when it's the off day, you gotta get to the basket. But I don't know what you know. Like you as an NBA player, I don't know what's being said on the bench. I've never been on an NBA bench. And you saying that analytics, they coming down with paper or they coming down with the stat sheet. I know how that is. I know how that is in the college level though. At halftime, we got the stat sheet. They looking, all right, this right here. We getting our rebound, blah, 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 blah. But as far as the analytics goes, I don't know that experience. So I don't, but so for me as a fan, I'm always confused on, why are they not going to the basket? They 10 for 37. They ain't make a shot since third quarter. I mean, since the first or the second quarter, and we in the third.
But that's again why I was saying what I was saying to you, because there are other things in play that most people don't see or just don't know, because the
Mm-hmm.
average, again, they're not studying the game the way you are.
Right.
But the average fan that's watching this, it might be like, bro, why y'all keep taking threes if you're 10 for 44? But this is the game that we live in today. Because and think of this too, right? You saw a Blazers game where that happened. Look at some other games that same thing happened and teams came back, because they might have been 2 for 20 something in the first half, and then they caught fire in the second half because they
Sure.
stayed with it.
For
Right.
sure.
So there's always that thing or a different way of looking at it when you look at the stat sheet, and not just with teams, but look at players.
Right.
People praise Kobe, Jordan, AI, certain people because they like, man, they got this killer instinct, but they were 8 for 28.
Right. But that is the killer instinct to
And
most people. Is keep
you wouldn't
shooting.
tell them to stop shooting.
Right.
Because in your mind, you look at them like, but they killers. That's what they supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. You're right for sure. For sure.
Move that goalpost.
No, for sure. For sure. But they gotta start hitting. I don't mind. I definitely don't mind the 3-point era. I like the fact that it evolved. I like the fact that it's not such a what is it? A hypo, like a era where it's just all one play. I like the fact that you can watch a game and you don't know who's going to get off. I like the change in that. I think a lot of times when you see these complaints or you hear these or you read these comments, it's just more so they're looking for a level of consistency from one player. But everybody on the court can ball now. It's a free flowing offense. It's a free flowing game now. I'm gonna get you out of here after this, man. Uh, so, obviously, LeBron is up for the All-Star game. They saying nah, they don't want him in there. But he's winding down. I think he's winding down. I'm a big LeBron fan, as everybody know. But I mean, I look at it now. I look at him as like the old head who come to work late and he comes to the meetings late. You know that old head that comes to the meeting late, about being late and he come late. He's at that point where he can do what he want. I don't think he can do what he want and it ain't going to change nobody's opinion about him. Whether you like him or you don't, he can win 2 more rings. I don't think the people who don't like him right now going to like him 2 rings later. He can win no more rings. The people everybody feels going to stay the same. Do you think he's his 23rd year? Is it possible he can actually just love the game that much? Like just love playing that much? Because a lot of fans don't believe that's the thing. They think he's chasing a Jordan's legacy, a Kobe's legacy. Do you think is that, or do you think he just love the game so much?
But why are we okay with Tom Brady playing
Uh,
in?
I don't know. Longevity is only a problem with LeBron. That's the only person I ever seen this happen to.
But I don't. I think that for one, LeBron is in a category of his own. I think the stat line that he's at now is what, 50, 10 and 10 or something like that. I don't even know, bro. It's
Hmm.
something 51,000 total points or something crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think that a guy who doesn't care averages the same that he did in some of his prime years. Because if
Hmm.
I'm not mistaken, he's at 27, right at 27 or 26. I can't.
No, not this year. He put around like 23 right this year. But I mean, he started off the year slow.
Or maybe it was within certain
Yeah,
games.
yeah, within a certain games. Like after like the fifth game of the season, I think after the fifth game of the season, it was about 27 or something like that.
Okay, so I wasn't too far off,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I don't think either way he's still averaging almost 24 points a game. And I don't think that a guy that doesn't care doesn't do that. Now, are there some crazy clips of him out there? Yes.
For sure.
But I
I thought
also
so.
think that these are some of the things that you kind of expect. Now,
Hmm.
here's the other thing for the average fan. You could say he sucks, you could hate him, you could do all of these things. But if it was that, and if he is as bad as you say, why do you have this expectation of him then?
Right.
This guy is still you know, all-star caliber player in the
Mm-hmm.
year that he's in.
Right.
Last I checked, we've never seen that before.
Right.
Last I've checked, he's averaging the most points as someone who's in the same year that he's in. He's in a class of his own. You still can look at Lakers as a contender.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that they're going to make it, but you could still look at them as a contender. And they have a lot of drama. They got a lot going on. But I want to be the first to give JJ a shout out because it's not easy. And people calling for his head or saying all the things that you want to say. You ain't never had to coach LeBron. You
Mm-hmm.
ain't had to coach LeBron and his son. You ain't had to coach Luca and LeBron. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
had to figure out how to navigate Luca, LeBron, and Austin because
Facts.
Austin is playing out his mind.
Right. Right.
So there's a lot of things that are going on, bro. And like JJ is the right fit for the job. I hate the beef. I hate all the whatever's going on, but they're gonna figure out a way to figure out their situation. At least I hope so, because Lakers, bro, the standard is too great. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You
facts.
sit up there and waste certain things, bro, because it's better than that. And to be honest, LeBron deserves better than that.
No, I agree.
I don't care what people say, bro. LeBron deserves better than that because he's still showing up. He's still doing the things that he's doing. He's still in better shape than most people in the NBA. Yes, he has moments, but at the end of the day, man, you cannot hate on that man and what he's done in his career.
No, I agree.
Period.
No, I totally agree with you, but I got a feeling these other guys not going to agree with you, but that's okay. Hey, it's we in sports, we talking sports. Everybody not supposed to agree, and I had to real I realized that, and when I put out posts, I realized you know what, everybody ain't going to agree with this, and I get it. Like I had to turn my notifications off.
Here would be my only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Make an argument for case in point, not to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who they just want to argue for the sake of arguing. A lot of people are going with other people's narratives. Like they don't have anything to support what they're saying. Even if they put up a long post about Jordan and 6 for 6 and never got into game 7 bro, somebody else said that.
Yep. Facts.
That's why that's why I'm appreciative of like your perspective. Whether you agree with it or not, it's like you come from a whole different angle,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yes, he gets it. Like, thank you for doing that because it makes for great content, and you have people arguing all day long. But one thing that they should be able to do, and I'm giving, I hope you continue to get your flowers. I'm gonna give you your flowers.
Appreciate you, brother.
Like you do the research, bro, and you find other arguments or other points that a ton of people either they just ain't pointed them out. Uh, they don't have the same basketball mind or whatever the case may be. But these are valid points, bro, because the goalpost continues to keep moving, man. I don't know what LeBron has done to piss people off. I also think it's interesting the fact that Jordan has never pissed anybody off clearly, but until
Doc
the
series.
docu series came out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you're hearing his own teammates have an issue with him
Right.
because clearly he can't do no wrong. But if he can't do no wrong, then why are these people complaining? Why are we seeing some of the things that we're seeing? And that's the part for me that I don't like. I respect Jordan. I love Jordan. I grew up watching Jordan, but Jordan was the first person I laid my eyes on.
Right.
My GOAT, Hakeem Olajuwon, is the first person I laid my eyes on. And I was like, wait a minute, who's that? Look at what he's doing. Oh, like I had never seen basketball before. That was my introduction.
Mm.
So I'm watching this guy do it on both ends, and I'm like, I like that. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So I just think that people, again, I know you got your favorites. I know you grew up, whatever you want to say it's because of the shoe. Man, scratch all that. Like at the end of the day, it's what's happened between the lines. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Nah,
I'm
facts.
not, I'm not giving LeBron the nod because he's in the community or doing this or doing that. I just keep it straight basketball on what's being done in here. And I do think that people who were in a position for so long could be passed up. We just watched it 2 years ago, the same way with Kareem's record. It
Yeah.
is okay.
And it's not going to take
Okay.
nothing away from him. Like you
Nothing.
said, Jordan, I'm a big Jordan fan. I Jordan
Exactly.
just because I like LeBron more for my reasons doesn't mean I'm knocking Jordan. Like JTA, swear to God, I'm knocking Jordan. If I tell you LeBron played against better competition, he played against better competition. There's nothing wrong with that. The game has to evolve. A lot of these guys was before their time. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq. These guys was ahead of their time and they dominated and they
Think,
get
you think
all the.
Jordan can guard these guys, bro?
Say
You
it
think
again.
Jordan can guard these guys in today's game?
Do I think Jordan can take these guys in today's game?
Guard them. I know. I
Guard
mean,
them?
I'm sure he'd be
I
able to
don't
give you
think.
buckets.
Nah, not a night in and night out. I always say I believe Jordan would have been a killer in any era. He just would have been the only killer. Like I think he was the only killer when it was time to get his 6 rings. He was the only killer. Like I look at some of these games and I'm looking like dudes just jumping straight up. Y'all not going to swipe at the ball and nothing. And then the rules is different. I was watching Kobe game earlier with the 81, and I'm watching him. Jalen Rose was guarding him and all 5 guys are loaded up. So as soon as he put the ball on the ground, they ready to go double. He just hit the open spot on the court, pull up over Jalen Rose. That couldn't have happened with Jordan. Everybody had to be at arm's reach. So if Jordan wanted to turn baseline and go dunk on the help side when they slowly rotating over because they was at arm's reach of the other player they was guarding, he could do that because he was the only gifted person with that athleticism at that time.
Ain't
So,
mad at it, brother. And I'm gonna say this too. There's also proof that when those types of players came out to play, then there was some issues out there.
nah, I fact. You see, I got in the
AI,
background.
AI.
You see, I got in the background back there.
Hey, hey, hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
That
got.
particular thing, AI,
Uh,
uh, Mahmoud,
Matt move out, do
aka
yeah.
Chris Jackson.
I'll let you go. Hey, tell man, I saw the animation. Let's try to get what you got going on. You know, we got to plug that. You know, you got to plug anything you got going on, brother.
Man, I appreciate it. So I do. I'm gonna officially launch my second book, which it's been out for some time, but I need to go ahead and reactivate that thing.
What's your
Failed Fatherhood. I'm gonna be dropping that thing. I'll make sure I send you the link to it. The animation was actually so. I want to plug this app called Moti.
multi? Okay.
And Multi is for other professionals. I think you should get on Multi, bro. It's just a different platform for people who are giving out game, and it's a way. It's like direct, like a direct to consumer type of thing, bro. So
Mm,
instead of going through all of these different ways where you got to set up a Zoom and then set up payment somewhere else and do all of that, literally everything happens on the app, and
okay.
it's clean. They don't own none of your content. Like it's phenomenal, man.
I
So
gotta
shout
check
out
out
to Moti.
how you spell
Shout
it so
out
we
to
know.
the
So
to
we
the
know
huh?
how you spell it so we know. I put it. I put. Don't worry about it. I put it on the screen. I
No,
make
no, no, I
sure
got you. Moti is Moti.
MOTI
Yeah.
for you guys who didn't know it. And then you what's the make sure you name your first book. We're gonna put it up on the screen. The
The
first
first book.
the one that you
Okay,
got out
so
right now.
the first book is What I Wish I Knew.
What I wish I knew. Yep. I didn't want to
Yeah.
butcher it. I couldn't think of it off the top of the head, but
No, no, no. I
yes,
got you. I got you
you
because
already know I
definitely.
got it already, but
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
appreciate it. So what I wish I knew is the first book. The second book is called Failed Fatherhood.
yeah. Ooh, ooh, that's
Um,
deep right there.
so and then I gotta talk to you about something else offline, but
Okay.
yeah, we got some things in motion, man. And then I'm still doing my stuff. I got partnerships with schools, partnerships with prisons. We still doing this work, still doing the community stuff.
Well,
Um,
I saw you with my guys between the lines. We usually between the lines, right?
No, no, no. But I
Oh,
did do a thing in Cleveland. So
yes, you did.
I was supposed to do Between the Lines, But because Danny reached out, but I wasn't able to make it to California at that time.
Yeah, you did something. I saw something on YouTube where you visited a prison. I said,
Hmm.
yeah. I also saw you on one of these Amazon specials for the 81 points for Kobe. I
Oh yeah,
saw that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw that.
That's
I said, oh man, my man be moving, brother. He on the
man,
move.
all that good old stuff, man. But
Yes,
hey,
sir.
I appreciate you, my boy. So we keeping it going, man. I'm grateful.
My man, my man. All right, y'all. There y'all have it, man. Another amazing interview with my dog, my guy, man. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all follow him on all social platforms. We'll put it at the bottom here. Make sure y'all cop all his books. His first one is called "What I Wish I Would Have Knew," right?
What I
Uh,
wish I knew.
what I wish I knew. What I wish I knew.
Yeah.
We're gonna put. I'm put it on the screen. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Man, is a great book. It's a great
Nah,
book. It
you
talks
good.
about his journey. It talks about his journey on the court as well as off the court. You guys will love it. And then whatever else he got going, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be just as great.
Well, I got something for you, brother.
All
And
right.
I got to give him my drop, man. Welcome to Score Society.
There you have it. That's it. I'm ending it right there. Like, subscribe, share. We out of here. My God.